Next to Calgary, that city has decided to stop putting fluoride in its drinking water. City Council yesterday voted overwhelmingly in favor of removing the chemical after 20 years of using it. Brian Labby's following the story. He's live with us from Calgary. And Brian, why were they even looking at this at all?
Well, there was a group of aldermen, Heather, the majority of council actually, about 10 aldermen who really pushed to get this item back on the agenda. And as I'm sure you know, this has been a contentious issue here in Calgary for, more than a generation. It's been the subject of several votes here in Calgary. The most recent one was in 1989 when just a slim majority, 53% of Calgarians, voted to have fluoride added to the drinking water. But this latest group of aldermen, they really wanted to have the chemical removed from the water supply. They said, they're citing sources such as the Ontario government, the U.S. Centre for Disease Control and Prevention, the American Dental Association, saying that, fluoride should not be consumed by infants. They argue that, there are so many other sources where we can find fluoride, such as toothpaste and mouthwash, and they really felt that this all comes down to personal choice. The city can actually control how much fluoride is put into the water supply, but certainly they can't control how much an individual is consuming. Now, there were a couple of measures that they tried. They suggested throwing this to another vote here in Calgary. They actually wanted to send it to an expert panel at the University of Calgary, but those two measures failed. Some aldermen saying that would have been a cop-out, so they wanted to show some leadership. And in the end, they voted 10-3 to remove the fluoride from the drinking water supply.
So not unanimous, but very strong, strongly in favor of doing away with the fluoride. It's been a few hours to sort of sink in then in Calgary. What kind of reaction has the vote been getting?
Well, shortly after the vote, the city's medical officer of health expressed his disappointment. He's saying that this is really a step back in terms of promoting dental health. And Dr. Richard Musto is actually saying that he expects to see a rise in the number of cavities here in Calgary. The head of one of the local homeless shelters here in Calgary is concerned about the impact this is going to have on the city's less fortunate. Now, I should point out that the city, as part of their decision yesterday, they did want to push for, looking at ways to improve dental health among the city's poor. So that's one component of this. While they agreed to take it out of the water supply, they're saying, well, let's at least look at what the impact of that is going to be. And there's really no clear timetable as to when the fluoride will be removed. That's because the city has to apply to the province to actually change the water license. So it's unclear when the fluoride will be taken out.
Okay, Brian, thank you for this. Brian Labby live with us from Calgary this morning.